And I'm Matt Hanna.
And this is Horror Hour with the Hannas.
And sadly, this is the last episode of Vampire January.
And today's episode in the Wise Words of Bodies, Bodies, Bodies is a podcast about hanging out with your smartest and funniest friend who unfortunately picked the worst movie of Vampire January.
Yeah, that happened, and I agree with it. I came in very hyped up about this, and now we're here.
Ready to conquer chaos like a horror movie final girl? Whether you're running a business or managing a side hustle, Ringtree LLC is the ultimate tool for taming your business calls. With features like intelligent call routing, voicemail to email, and custom greetings, you can create a professional phone presence all through your smartphone. No extra hardware needed. You can also separate work and personal calls, and you can choose your area code anywhere in any city across the US and Canada. At just $24 a month, it's a killer deal. Sign up today at ringtree.io and simplify your business life so you can get back to enjoying the things you love, like horror movies. As longtime viewers know, I play professional ultimate frisbee. And in both frisbee and horror movies, strength and strategy are everything. Whether you're pushing yourself on the field or watching a survivor push through a terrifying ordeal, preparation is the secret weapon. That's why we're excited to bring you Alpha Progression, the strength training app designed to help you crush your fitness goals. Its personalized science-backed programs and easy-to-use interface have made it Apple's app of the day not once, but twice. It's like having a coach in your pocket ready to push you to the next level. And as a listener of Horror Hour with the Hannas, you get 20% off with our exclusive code. Visit alphaprogression.com/horrorhour and start building your ultimate strength today. Because whether it's on the field or in the final act of a horror flick, strength makes the difference.
So we are joined by Preston,
who is
the
our
scaredy cat.
Yes. There's the resident scaredy cat, I think was his full title.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the government name.
His government name. Yeah, and unfortunately, he picked The Last Voyage of the Demeter.
I did.
And he picked it because it has boats.
I did.
He likes
There's
boats.
also boats. Boats are cool.
Honestly, I also
Boats are
thought the
cool.
boats would be cool, and the boats were unfortunately not cool.
Oh, boats were still cool. Boats were cool. Nosferatu himself. Dracula, not so cool.
Yeah.
This movie.
I stand behind that. The boats were okay. There were boats, you know?
Yeah. Any scene where it backed up and just showed the boat in the waves, we were all
yeah.
like, that's a cool boat!
Yeah. And there was
Boat.
some decent cinematography with the boats.
Yeah.
And some decent lighting on the boats when it was at the high seas, especially some okay night lighting with the moonlight on the boats. But that was about where this movie peaked, unfortunately.
Yeah, tragically.
Tim, we really went in laying into this. I always wonder if people listen to this and if we're immediately this movie stinks if they just bounce.
Well, don't bounce because we'll tell you exactly why we didn't love it.
And how we think it could be better.
And we'll tell you what we did like about it because there are things.
There were things I did.
Yes, yeah.
So, this movie is directed by André Øvredal, who you might recognize as the director of Autopsy of Jane Doe.
I actually really like that movie. Preston would poop his pants.
Yes.
With that movie.
Actually,
Although you did watch Skinamarink. Also, if you haven't watched the Skinamarink episode, Preston, please go do. It's really good. But that movie's quite scary from what I remember.
Preston was
Autopsy of Jane
on
Doe,
for the Babadook episode too, which is also an all-timer, in my opinion. It was early, but I feel like the content is good.
Yeah, it's good.
Both of those were very scary.
Yeah. So we gave Preston a break by letting him pick his
maybe that's what we'll bring him back for, Autopsy of Jane Doe.
When I asked Preston to come back on, I was going to give him the option of the Autopsy of Jane Doe or the Descent.
Oh, and did we cover the Descent?
No.
Oh, we watched it.
We watched it both.
I got mad because there's multiple versions of it.
Of the ending.
And we got the shit ending version.
Well,
the American ending
That's
or whatever.
That's fine. But I was going to be like, hey, Preston, we really want to watch these two movies. Which one are you more interested in? But then he picked this and we were like, okay.
He said, I like boats.
He said, I like vampire
And after
boat.
we made you sit through Skinamarink, I felt,
you earned it.
You earned the choice.
I'll take it.
This is one of the few times we've let a guest pick their own movie.
Let's go.
I think, had we not made you... Well, we let him pick Skinamarink. We just didn't tell him what it was.
Yeah, you didn't give me a ton of options. Yeah, you gave me 3 different movies.
That was in our season 1 finale episode.
Yeah.
Well, this movie was written by Bragi Schutt Jr. and Zach Olkowitz, starring Corey Hawkins, Aisling Francosi, Liam Cunningham, and David Dastmalchian. And it is an adaptation of The Captain's Log, a chapter from the novel Dracula by Bram Stoker. this movie is kind of crazy because it actually had been in development hell for about 20 years before it was made.
Which is, I mean, it's actually interesting to think about like when that would have been coming out, like 2004.
I think it was like, I have facts from around 2006, but I don't know if it was in development.
I'm just more thinking about like where were we with vampire media at the time? Like I guess that's pre Twilight, right?
Yes.
But we've basically been oversaturated with vampire media since 1920, 22, since Nosferatu came out.
Yeah.
Well,
But vampire media and Dracula are awesome, so I get it.
Yeah.
But it's very weird to me that an adaptation of one chapter of a book that has been adapted a bunch of times
they were that passionate about it.
Considering this movie has been made many other times, just as, a 10-minute part of a longer movie. Nosferatu had this whole movie in it, but for a much shorter amount of time.
I'm not going to knock it, though, because I thought it was a cool concept.
I was going to say, I disagree. I feel like it could have been very cool, but the way they did it was poor. And I also feel like the whole development hell of, 20 years of getting passed around to different directors and different actors. Help. Yeah, it just doesn't help at that point.
We'll get into it. I think the way it's written in the book, from my understanding, is really cool. I think it's a really hard thing to put on screen, as interesting as it is in the book. But wait, let's give us more fun facts.
Well, like Preston was saying, there was a ton of different directors, writers, and actors attached to the movie throughout the years. One of the previous writers who wrote an early draft was actually James V. Hart, the screenwriter of Bram Stoker's Dracula by Francis Ford Coppola.
Banger of a movie, I love that movie. We just covered it. So for Preston, we just covered it. I loved it. Hannah did not.
I was going to say, it sounded like there was sarcasm in there.
No, I actually really liked it. It's a really odd movie, and it has Keanu Reeves in the lead, and he's not great. He's much younger.
I gave it a very generous 5 out of 10.
I gave it an 8. It's a visual spectacle, though, for everyone who listened. A rare disagreement between us.
A rare disagreement between us. Also a rare Keanu Reeves L.
No, not an L. It's a W in my mind.
Well, maybe the W overall, but for him specifically, it is in fact an L. Well, actors that were previously attached to this movie included Jude Law, Viggo Mortensen.
Mortenstein. Is that how you say it? Oh, yeah, that is right.
I was just pronouncing the way it was spelled.
It's Mornstein, right? No, it's Mornstein. Oh, I always get confused.
Pretty sure it's Mornstein. We're talking about
We're talking about Aragorn, Lord of the Rings.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did I say it right?
Yeah.
Oh, you did it right. I've just always said it wrong.
I've always pronounced it wrong because there's an episode of It's Always Sunny where Mac describes who he is and he pronounces it like very dramatically wrong. Morgenstein, I think is how he says it. Viggo Morgenstein.
Yeah, after he delivers the ring to Gondor, or Mordor, he retires and makes bagels.
Well, Ben Kingsley was also attached, as well as Noomi Rapace. David Dastmalchian, another fun fact, had actually written a similar screenplay to this, and he presented it to the production company, and they were like, dog, hate to break it to you, but we're already making that movie. Brutal. So they let him audition, and that's how he became a part of this film.
Well, I do love him. So, and I really like him in this movie. One of the highlights.
I love him always.
He is... was he the first mate? What position would you say?
Oh, sure.
You probably heard us going, oh, look, it's David.
Okay.
He was one of the more cranky ones.
Yeah, he was the big cranky.
Yeah. I know.
He was the one who was I'll go down with the
captain.
ship.
Yes.
Yeah. So I
not the Onion Knight, though. Oh, we haven't talked about the Onion Knight yet. That's a fun fact, right?
I didn't have it listed as a fun fact, but Liam Cunningham, who I did say was in this, is the Onion Knight, a.k.a. Sir Davos from Game of Thrones.
And he's the captain of the ship.
Yeah.
So the whole movie, and in my notes, I refer to him pretty exclusively as Davos. Every time I'd be like, where's Davos? I miss him. Because he was probably, acting-wise, the best part of this movie.
Yeah.
Or David. No. What about Hermes?
Oh, yeah.
Is that a fun fact, too? You didn't have a fun fact, then? Okay, well, one of the characters we saw on Broadway. One of the actors.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I didn't put that as a fun fact, but I did have this listed here somewhere.
Yeah, one of the characters, I don't...
John Briones?
Yes.
I don't know if I pronounced the last name correctly.
John's a great name.
It is a great name.
He plays the cook, and we were watching, and I looked up at him and said, he sounds like the guy we saw as Hermes.
And I immediately said, yeah, that's him.
Well, no, because then right after I said, looks like him too. And then you were like, no, that has to be him. And then we looked it up. And we did, in fact, see the cook on Broadway.
Wow.
And he was excellent as Hermes in Hadestown. We actually saw his daughter play...
Eurydice?
Yes.
Or Eurydice, I don't know.
So
how
they
you
were in the
pronounce
show
it.
together. It was very cute.
And we also saw, what's his name? Jordan Fisher play
Whoop, whoop.
Orpheus. So, like,
That's
basically a
love.
star-studded cast. Unfortunately, I did not love that show that much, but
Yeah, overrated show.
that's such a hot take, but all three of us feel that way.
Yeah. We could talk about this. We could make a whole podcast.
I am-
We'll save it for another one.
And this is why
really could.
people got really mad, or I know people were mad at me when I said I didn't like the Wicked movie, and they're like, "Well, you probably just don't like musicals." No, that's bullshit. I like musicals. I go to Broadway, but I also didn't like Hadestown, so I'm not doing myself any favors. Apparently,
You're not. Matt's favorite show is Les Mis.
Yeah,
and I
by
think
far.
that is an appropriate take.
and my
Mis is
second
fire.
favorite show is Phantom of the Opera. Sorry, like
Interesting.
You saw Les Mis in Philly, right?
Yeah, I really
Wasn't it
like.
so good?
I like Les Mis. Les Mis is fire. Come From Away, fire. Yeah, I'm just
oh, I
turning
haven't
this
seen that
into-
one. I've heard good things.
Yeah,
though.
we're turning this into a musical podcast now.
I'll allow it.
Les Mis, fire. Come From Away, fire.
we covered
Book
Sweeney
of Mormon,
Todd. Book of Mormon, fire.
overrated.
Oh, disagree.
Hot
Overrated.
take.
There's another one that I had.
I was going to say we saw Sweeney Todd on Broadway and we covered it on the podcast a long time ago. Did terribly. No one wanted that. But if you are
no one
listening
cares.
now, go back and try it out. Right, Sweeney Todd.
Well, unfortunately, the show's not on Broadway anymore. It doesn't have the cast that we talked about, so it might not.
They can
mean
still
as
listen to the
much.
episode. All right. they come for us, not for Sweeney Todd.
Okay, well, my last fun fact about this movie is that it was released on August 11th, which was 3 days after the date given for the crash of the Demeter in Dracula. So they timed it specifically to match.
All right.
Which I thought was
Little
fun.
promo.
Okay, so that's it for fun facts. So going in, none of us had seen this before, correct?
Correct.
Do we have any expectations?
Yeah, I thought this was going to be a fire movie.
Based on what?
Let's get that out of the way. Well, so I think a trailer had come out, I don't know, a year ago or something. I was probably watching some dumb YouTube video, and it was one of those rare ads where it started and went, oh, I don't think I'm skipping this. And as I'm watching the trailer, I was thinking, this is going to be a bomb movie. Granted, I do have a thing for 18th century boats. That's cool. And I feel like with the...
It's a special interest.
Yeah. That's just the thing about me. But yeah, I felt like it would make for a fun horror movie. These guys trapped on a boat. I didn't realize it was Dracula related, but I think that adds to it. Well, added to it prior to watching the movie. But yeah, there's an expectation. I thought it was going to be fire.
Yeah, I heard from people that it was good. People in the horror community, I feel told me that they liked it. So I was pretty hyped going in because of that. Also, I was a hoe for Pirates of the Caribbean as a child. I think boats in movies are pretty cool too. And also, I like Dracula, and I think that this is a really cool part of the book. So I wanted to see how it was adapted. So I also had higher expectations that I don't think were lived up to.
We should find any excuse to cover Curse of the Black Pearl. It's horror adjacent enough.
Oh yeah, I'm there for that night.
Spoiling right away, 10 out of 10 from me. That movie, perfect film.
Great movie.
So for me, I remember seeing trailers in theaters for some reason. And to be honest, I never read Dracula, so I had no idea that the Demeter was the boat from Dracula. So I was like, it's Dracula on a boat.
Yeah.
Woo.
Okay. And then I remember it being really big on... I remember being really big on Twitter.
Yeah.
People being like, Dracula on the boat. And it seemed like it got some hype from that. I was never really interested, but for Vampire January, and you wanted to watch, I was like, yeah, sure. And yeah, it was fine. That's the final. It is legitimately that section of the book with their own weird little character added, and that's about it.
Yeah.
And it's not nearly as impactful as I think the way that book is written, because you see everything. Where for people, as a fun fact, if you've read the book, which I haven't, but I've read about it, this whole section is told via the captain's log. So you're never seeing anything happen. You're only hearing from the captain about people getting sick or people disappearing, people being bit. I assume there's it's all told from that perspective. Almost it's almost like a found footage book. That's
yes. And I do think they still could have kept that, like, obviously we would know going into it that it's Dracula. If they're saying The Last Voyage at the Demeter, like, people would put that together, even if they kept Dracula out of the trailers. But I still think that they could have kept more to that style and made it less obvious, or, like, showed him a bit less leading up to the reveals.
It would need to be shown from a first person's perspective. The whole movie should have been from the captain, and he should have never seen Dracula until the end. Or it should have pulled it from Dusk Till Dawn and not told us that it was about vampires at all.
Exactly.
But that wouldn't have pulled the crowd, would it?
Yeah. Oh, I still feel like, though, plenty of other movies have pulled it off well, where you never see the monster, but you know there's something out there.
Yeah.
So you're sort of thinking, maybe you should have given him more skin in him. Give him nothing.
Yeah.
And then you're thinking, like, what the heck could it be? But yeah, I think the second they started showing Dracula creeping around the boat or killing like animals, it took a lot of it out of the horror part. So
especially because the design for Dracula didn't do it for me. I understand what they were going for with it, like they were really going for like the animalistic side of Dracula, but like that doesn't work for me, because in some way he's also supposed to be like a suave man.
Completely agree. He looked like when you go to the zoo and they have those fruit bats that dangle from their hands and pee on the glass. That's what he looked like.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's just a fruit bat, but like scary and big.
I do think like the one scene was a banger where towards the end of the movie, which I don't know if we're giving movie scenes out right now because this will spoil the whole thing.
No, you can spoil. We're not the spoilers for this movie. This is old enough.
Gotcha. Where like in like the final fight where it's him versus the other two people. I can't even think of
Clemens.
Clemens, there it is. And then the lady.
Anna.
Who?
Anna. That was her name.
Anna. There it is. Where like he's standing at like the bow of the ship. Shout out ships. And then he like stands up real tall. And I think it's like the first like extended scene where you get to see like the whole body of it. I thought that was a banger scene because there's like the lightning that's hitting him and you sort of like see his whole like form and you're like, oh shit, this is crazy. I thought there were good scenes like that sprinkled around, but overall I also agree that seeing him so early, seeing him all animalistic kind of took the horror part away, because we've seen that a lot.
And he was literally modeled after like a bat, which was not typically what I've seen from Dracula. Like for him to legitimately have wings. He looked like the ones from Midnight Mass, but like not as good.
Worse. Yeah. And I understand going with that because he, like, that is one of the animals that she shifts into. Like, if you're going to make a vampire look like anything that's not a man, bat makes sense. However, I just simply wasn't on board with it. And I don't know. It just doesn't fit with the characterization.
I feel like it would have been way creepier if the movie was just a guy, like, on the boat. Like,
agreed.
It wasn't, like, a creepy animal. It was just some dude that you'd never seen before, like, creeping around. That would have been creepy.
It was just the Count. That's what it should have been. I mean, that's what it is in the book, right?
Especially if they're like, one guy's like, I swear I saw some dude. And they're like,
was that you?
There's no extra dude. Yeah, exactly. Because it could literally be like, why were you over there? And the other guy's like, I was asleep.
Well,
like,
damn.
You need to watch Nosferatu.
Give us the script. We're going to kill this movie.
No, Nosferatu did this. It was just 10 minutes of a movie, maybe less.
It was less than that. The Nosferatu part of this, it didn't do that much of this.
That's what's hard. The boat is cool. I just don't think you need 2 hours.
And the idea of it's cool too. Like you're just trapped. There's no like running away. You're on the boat. You're in the middle of the Atlantic. There's nowhere else.
A small boat too. Like, you know, this thing was
what,
a 50-footer, 80-footer?
She was a big boat.
I know, but like...
She's not cruise.
It's on a cruise ship
She's
is what I mean.
Right. Yeah.
We're not an aircraft carrier.
Don't
Let's
shit on boats
horror
here.
movie on the aircraft carrier.
No shitting on boats.
Yeah.
Well, do we want to do 15-second summaries, or are we all about to say the same exact thing?
We are going to say the same thing.
Is this 15-second summary of the movie or 15-second summary of my opinions about it?
No, of the movie.
15-second summary of the movie. I'll go first. Dracula on a boat.
Yep.
Nice.
2 seconds. Done. All right, Matt?
Yep. It's literally just the chapter from the book, except they added 2 new characters, and one of them survives. Well, sorry. They had a character that survives, which basically completely goes against what happens in the book.
Yep.
So, thumbs down.
Oh, wow. This is just rapid fire thoughts?
Yeah, go.
The boat's sick. You should definitely watch the movie for the boat. A lot of cool boat scenes. Dracula's also on it, but the boat's pretty cool.
Perfect. We have boats.
Can we do Dracula on a train next? I kind of like trains.
Dracula on a train would be cool. But trains stop. Like, they can stop anywhere and you can just get out.
Yeah, it's true.
It's not the same.
Hey,
Dracula
Preston.
Dracula in
Shut
space.
the fuck up real quick. I'm going to ask you to... Dracula in space. Spaceship.
Space.
Last Voyage of the Demeter,
Ooh.
but it's actually a space shuttle.
Speaking of space, when they were writing this, the inspiration, they wanted it to feel like Alien, but on a boat.
Oh, actually?
Speaking of space.
Sorry.
get that vibe.
I have an issue with this line of thinking of let's just make Alien on this. Like, I've talked about this before with movies. I'm going to get philosophical with you really quick, Preston.
Okay.
We are in this point of movies where we're so iterative of other movies that it's like we're inbred with our movies now, where the people making movies are influenced by other movies and they go, I want to make Alien. And it's like that doesn't work. You can't make what was already been made. Where I think a lot of previous filmmakers' influences came from the theater. It came from photography. It came from radio. It came from something before that.
Yeah.
Now it's like we're at the point where all these filmmakers are being influenced by those movies, and you kind of get this. It doesn't feel right. It feels like a little off, and it's like I think it's okay to be influenced by movies, but you can't just go, let's just try to make this. I want to be like Alien, because you're just never going to be able to. You need to pull from other mediums. Video games have the same problem. When video games were pulling from movies, they were really, really good.
Yeah.
When they've started to pull from other video games, we're like losing something. You like kind of lose. So because we're like at the maybe end of that life cycle, we got to start innovating, I guess. But that's my philosophical. So do you feel me, Hannah? Does that make sense?
Yeesh.
I also think if you can still take influence from other movies, that's not a problem. It's when you say I want to be this generation's this. I want to make this generation's
from
this.
Something you have to make it something brand new. Like Jane Schoenbrom, I think, has made it pretty clear that they took some influence from Lynch, and they've said that. But they're doing something completely new with the movie that they just made that took inspiration. Like, there's a difference between being inspired by and, like,
trying
copying
to recreate.
or being the same.
Especially when it comes to style. Being like, I want to recreate the style of this. And it's just like, that would be like if someone's like, I want to recreate Wes Anderson style. Nobody's going to recreate Wes Anderson style. Like, it just, you just don't have that eye. I don't think anybody but him has that eye. Or if you do, everyone's going to just go, oh, that's just Wes Anderson style. Wes Anderson ripoff.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay, well.
Also, speaking of Lynch, can we say?
This is the first episode we're recording since the passing of David Lynch.
I was really, really devastated, as Hannah knows. I don't think... I knew he was old and sick. I did not expect this to happen when it did, and I am very sad. I don't know if you know much about David Lynch, but
I know nothing.
He's a director we both like.
I was going to say, all I know is you posted on your Instagram like
many
4 or 5 times.
Matt was heartbroken.
He's just over a span of hours.
Yes, he was just a very wonderful person, a really good director, and like very meaningful to me, and I think a lot of other people as well.
His first film, Eraserhead, is like a film, like an intro to film staple.
Yes.
And then obviously he's made tons of important work throughout his career. Twin Peaks obviously has spanned decades, that project. And then there's, Inland Empire, Mulholland Drive. You know, there's
I know you're a big Lost Highway fan.
Lost Highway. There's so many.
The Straight Story, Elephant Man, Dune.
Well, we're ignoring
the original Dune movie.
We're ignoring Dune. Sorry, David.
But yeah, so rest
big
in peace.
Lost Highway fan, Emma Holland Drive.
Rest in peace to David Lynch. I think I had it in my sick and twisted mind that I was going to get another movie from him.
Matt said that often, tough. And our friend Jason the librarian, who was on last week's episode, is also a huge David Lynch fan, and is like, Matt, he has emphysema so bad he doesn't leave his house. Like, I don't think he's
literally
making another
said,
movie.
I'm pretty sure they interviewed him. He's like, I'd like to try to direct like from home, and like I just really thought, and I know that's selfish of me to be like, I'm just sad I didn't get his movie because like. I'm just sad he died. I think he was a good person. It's clear how much it's clear with all the way people are talking about him, what an effect he had on the industry and on every person he was around and his family. And like, I'm sad, but we always have his works to go back and watch. So we're going to cover something. Maybe Eraserhead for this.
I think Eraserhead's a good pick because it is pretty weird and creepy and out there. And Matt's never seen it, but I have never seen it.
Well, I always wait. We have a tradition of watching David Lynch movies with Jason and Jason. And so I don't watch them, even though I would like to watch all of them. I wait until we all get together to watch them.
Well, we'll have to plan on Eraserhead soon, maybe
Yes,
for
please.
birthday weekend.
Oh, we didn't mention Wild at Heart. Sorry, one of my faves.
Oh, yeah, Wild at Heart is so funny.
But, all right, that's our...
Snakeskin boots to express my individuality.
There's Nick Cage in it, and he's really good. But,
Quick question: does Jason have a nickname? We haven't given them.
yes,
like
there's Jason the Hater, and then there's Jason the Librarian.
But what about together? Like, do they become Johnson?
We just call them
Johnson?
the Jasons.
The Jasons.
That's it.
We only had them together once. That was
On
last
the
week.
pod.
Or, well, that was last week's
I see.
episode.
Got
Yeah.
it. Okay. The way you said it almost made it sound like they were a power couple here.
They are
yeah.
a power couple.
I think it was a good episode. We'll see how it does. So
We were drunk.
yeah, it was
Excellent.
New Year's Eve.
Excellent.
Everyone who's
The
listening to
best
this will have
podcast.
heard this episode already,
Yeah,
though.
yeah.
So there's a lot of confusion out there. People, this is like a David Lynch movie, you know? Just
Timelines are a little fucked up.
yeah, or maybe
Okay.
they don't exist at all.
Okay, guys, I'm going to do the plot summary now. I'm doing it because someone was too lazy to do it.
Whoa, that's not what was said.
No,
I
that's
said
literally what
this is.
happened.
Get
I
it
said,
in.
how
Yeah.
can I do a plot summary of a movie that's literally just the book or just the boat section
Hey.
of Dracula? We've covered two
Hey.
Dracula movies in the past
Hey,
month.
can I offer you a suggestion?
What?
Shut the fuck up.
Okay, go ahead.
I thought you were going to say, do your job.
Yeah, well, that too. Okay, I'm not going to speed read as well as Matt because I'm not capable because I'm also illiterate. On August 6th, 1897, the merchant ship Demeter washes ashore in England. Among its records, the police find the log kept by her captain. 1 month earlier, the Demeter has made port in Bulgaria to receive cargo bound for London. The cargo includes many large wooden crates. Clemens, a doctor and graduate of University of Cambridge that he talks about a lot, overhears that the Demeter is looking for crewmen. He attempts to convince the crew that his medical skills make him a valuable asset, but he's rejected, and they hire an older man instead. While helping to load one of the crates, the man is startled upon recognizing a dragon emblem on the container, and then it causes the crate to fall because he gets freaked out and he drops it, and then Clemens witnesses this and rushes to save the captain's grandson Toby from being crushed by the loose crate, and so the newly hired man quits, and out of gratitude, the captain hires Clemens as a replacement. Aboard the ship, another crate falls, breaking open in the cargo hold. Clemens finds a woman inside, buried in plain dirt. She seems barely alive, and he performs blood transfusions to treat what he believes to be an infection, and they learn that her name is Anna. The following night, all the animals aboard the ship are dead, including the ship's dog. The crew, fearing a rabies outbreak, throws the carcasses overboard. Anna awakens and warns the crew about a monster from Transylvania, a creature that feeds on the blood of humans. She says that this monster, Dracula, is already on board the ship and looking to feed, revealing several bites on her body. Dracula stalks the crew by night, biting a member and turning him to a vampiric thrall. The vampiric thrall restrains Toby, trapping him in the captain's quarters along with Dracula. As the crew attempts to save him, Toby is bitten by Dracula. The next morning, the vampiric crew member bursts into flames as the rising sun touches his body. Despite blood transfusions from his grandfather, Toby also dies. During his funeral, the captain believes he sees Toby moving. He unwraps Toby, only for Toby to suddenly attack. The vampire Toby then burns in the sunlight. The remaining crew want to destroy the ship and drown Dracula to prevent him from causing chaos once they reach London. The crew, outside of Anna and Clemens, all end up being bitten and killed. Anna manages to crush Dracula with part of the mast, so Anna and Clemens jump ship, thinking the vampire's dead. Before sinking, the ship ends up running aground on the British coast, which enables Dracula, who is very strong and not dead, to push the mast off his body and escape. Anna becomes a vampire and reveals that the blood transfusions only delay the process. Anna willingly burns in the sunrise as Clemens drifts ashore. Arriving in London, Clemens sees Dracula's shadow and he vows that he will kill Dracula and send him back to hell.
Nice.
And
I zoned out so hard.
Nice.
I only stuttered once, so
You did a
it
pretty good
turns out
job.
I'm much more literate.
You did a pretty
more
good job.
literate than you.
Oh, you
I
had
almost
tripped
got
over the
myself
word. You played
illiterate.
yourself.
I didn't play myself. At Horror Hour with the Hannas, we know that some of the most heartwarming moments come from our pets. Definitely not haunted houses. That's why we're excited to partner with Forever Framed. They create custom photo magnets that beautifully capture the personality of our furry friends. Whether you're cozying up with your cat during a horror marathon or your dog is standing guard while you brave your favorite scary flick, Forever Framed ensures your pet's memory is front and center in your home. We are so excited to get one for our pup Norton and our cat Lily. Visit foreverframed.com, that's F-U-R-E-V-E-R, framed, F-R-A-M-E-D.com to get started on your personalized pet magnet today. Because even when the chills hit, your pet deserves to be remembered with warmth.
Hello, my spooky friends. This is your host, John, from Dairyland Frights, the paranormal podcast that covers everything spooky, creepy, and mysterious in the Midwest.
This is actually John. I hope my spooky voice scared you. And in this podcast, we're going to have creepy guests and spooky tales and mysterious sightings of cryptids, UFOs, ghosts, and everything paranormal. So tune in if you dare to be scared.
You rereading that plot makes me feel how unnecessary this movie is.
Okay, so it's no secret we did not like this movie that much.
No.
But did we find it scary? Let's start there.
I'll give it a yes.
I give it a no. How about you, Matt?
I did not find it scary. I'm actually surprised. I was hoping that our scaredy cat would be like, no, I didn't find it scary.
Oh no, that would have been out. That would have been off brand. No,
Yeah.
This is completely
You
on
didn't
brand.
scream at all, and I only saw
There
you
were a couple
hide
times.
once.
There was a couple
No.
times where he was like, "Ooh, I don't know."
Yeah, right. Oh, it was the blood veiny part. That
Both
was,
of
Oh, we
you.
both hid. I just don't like seeing.
Two hides, bitches, and neither of them were me.
Okay, both of us hid. Not during the
what?
scary part. It was during a blood transfusion where they showed the needle going into her.
Well, sorry,
and it was
I'm not a
blunt
puss.
looking needle. And I just like
Okay,
don't always.
bitch.
It's just something I can see a lot of gross stuff. That's one that
Yeah,
kind
I
of
don't like
bothers
that
me.
either.
I have trained myself to be okay with it by looking when they take my blood.
Yeah, I don't look. I can give blood. I'm not going to pass out.
Yeah,
I've had
Jesus
enough like blood draws for random things and like recent medical stuff, like a colonoscopy and two endoscopies at the age of 28.
Thinking about it makes me feel like I'm going to pass out more than actually doing it.
Yeah, no.
So no more talking about it.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I honestly didn't think I was that. I wasn't that scared by this movie compared to like Skinamarink or Babadook. That's pretty safe to say. But when I left your apartment after the movie was over, walking down
picture
the
show.
hall, I think someone still has their like spooky
Halloween decor, yes.
decor up. And there's a little bat in a window, and I saw that, and for a quick second, I was like, "Oh shit,
He's
I don't
here.
like that." Yeah, right. And maybe it was like the combination of like the hallway, it feeling a little like claustrophobic, which is boat. That the combination sort of took me back, and I went like, "Oh crap, that's a little scary."
I'm on the boat.
I didn't like that, so I will say that it was a little scary.
You always know it's a little scary if you are affected later.
Yeah, right.
Well, no scary for me or Hannah on this one though.
No, I'm gonna unfortunately have to say it wasn't.
And I wish it was because it was 2 hours long, and about 40 minutes in, I was like, "This movie's got to be close to over." And I looked at my phone and was like, "Oh my god, we have an hour and 20 left. Like, what else can this movie do?"
Yeah, it definitely felt like one where, unlike a lot of other movies where it feels like every scene is somewhat meaningful, like you sort of think like, wow, there's a ton of parts to this movie that all need to blend together. You could have taken stuff away out of this movie. You could have taken a lot out of this movie.
This could have been an hour and 20. And
Could have been
it would
less.
have been a
Hour
much
20,
better movie.
great experience. Hour 20,
It
10
feels
out
like
of
it should
10.
be a short film because it basically is. Its source material is a short film. It's perfect for that.
Yeah, right.
And like as we said before, it would work much better if we didn't know that it was a vampire or if we never saw.
Yeah.
Because it really that is like that's where the fear in the book comes from.
Yeah, right. It's creepy.
Is actually kind of comes from that we know that there's something going on the ship, but we're reading the thoughts of a guy that has no idea what's going on.
Yeah, true. You're
And
putting
that's
yourself
really
in the guy's
interesting.
feet.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And that's just, you can't really, I don't know if there's a good way to replicate that on the big screen.
Yeah, what I would have done, and I think we kind of talked about it earlier a bit, is I think they could have called it this and left it kind of like, is it going to be about Dracula? Is it not?
Yeah.
And then made Dracula not a part of the trailers at all, just making it look like a mystery where people are dying on a boat from the trailers. And then throughout the movie, again, we don't know it's Dracula, so it's like this mystery of people disappearing. We're not seeing any of the scenes where they actually disappear, so it's more this claustrophobic from, like you said, maybe like the captain's perspective of learning that people have died and like how scary that would be for him wandering the halls and whatnot and not knowing what's going on. And then towards the end we get the reveal of, holy shit, that's just like a man who happens to be Dracula who's eating people.
Yeah,
or like
right.
biting them.
But
I think that
instead
would have
we
been
get,
way
like,
more effective.
Instead we get a monster movie, which kind of goes against what Dracula is. Like,
yeah.
This Dracula basically seems like a dumb animal.
Yes.
He's neither powerful nor like seductive nor like not manipulative or like has a brain on him. What word am I looking? Intelligent.
No,
like he's supposed to be all three of those things.
I disagree with powerful. He definitely came off as powerful, but I see what you mean. Like he comes off as just like a bear. It'd be the same thing if just like you let a bear and you're like, oh shit, there's a bear on this boat.
When I say powerful, yeah, you're right. It's like an animal. Well, I'm talking like you watch some of this other stuff. Like Dracula's power is pretty unmatched. Like it felt like
it's a different type of power. Like it's more physical strength than like the kind of power that I think you're referring to, which also is coming from both physical and mental strength.
Yes,
and like strategy.
The way that he has to he's beaten in pretty interesting ways. I would say in the movies, whether it's like outsmarting, using his weaknesses against him, or in Nosferatu, a completely different way that I won't spoil.
Yeah. Can we talk about how he was beaten in this movie? Because that was also anticlimactic. He just gets hit by
the mast.
The mast of the ship just getting chopped in half.
And they're like I guess he's stuck. We're good.
Yeah, we got him.
It was crazy.
We parent trapped him. Like you just hit him with like the thing like coming down the stairs. And it was like, huh? Like that's how we hit him? I don't know.
We were literally all like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
so then when he very easily got out, we were like, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It kind of like makes fun of this vampire lord that's supposed to be very, very powerful.
Right. But back to your earlier point, though, like how I think you said like you weren't sure like a better way to do it. I feel like there's an easy way to do it much better where like you create that tension because the audience knows it's Dracula. But right, you're watching the movie from the perspective of a guy who knows nothing. So you could create tension just by like the guy being dumb and doing things that puts him in bad situations, but he doesn't know that. So as an audience, you're sort of thinking like, oh, no, don't go down into that creepy boat, or like, don't go into the hatch by yourself.
You're right, and they don't do that because they almost always show us the threat.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Instead of like hiding the threat.
Yeah. So.
Yeah,
I think. Point.
And it would be one thing if it has this exact plot, but Dracula didn't look like fucking Gollum.
The design is bad.
I think it would have I would have been rating this movie a whole half a point or whole point higher if he looked like a person.
Yeah. Damn, release the other cuts. Release the Snyder cut of this movie. I want to see what other designs of Dracula were out there.
We're just rewriting this whole movie, but I think another way to do it is go the witch route.
Yeah.
Have everyone turn on each other because they're all being manipulated, but never show what's happening until the end, and then have them pull a Black Phillip with the last guy and be like,
that would be a fun
my name
idea.
is Count Dracula. And
but
then,
didn't you just say you hate when people try to do one movie in another
fine,
movie?
yes, but I'm not a writer.
That's true.
I'm saying
not my job.
I'm also not saying I would never go. I'm trying to redo the witch. I'm saying you can take the tropes of that, where basically characters are being manipulated to turn on each other, which is something. The witch does so much more than that makes it a masterpiece. That's just like one part of it.
Stylistically, performance, like every element of that movie, I think makes it a masterpiece. Versus like one person here puts on a performance that could be in that movie, maybe.
Yeah,
like that's it. And that would be Liam Cunningham, aka Davos, aka the Captain.
Can we get him in more movies? That's what I want.
Well, I literally was so pissed because I was like, he is so good. I love him. And I like that's coming from Game of Thrones because like he's one of the best characters who you like consistently root for through the whole show. Like you really never stop rooting for him as a person. So it could be just that's impacting me. But I also think that he did easily have the best performance in this film, and he's the only character that has like emotional beats. I think that's another big issue with this movie in general is there is no emotional beats, and so you're not connected to any of the characters at all, so you don't really give a shit what happens to them.
Except the kid, seeing the kid get
and I don't think it's that you're attached to the kid necessarily. You're just like, it is a child, so I feel sad.
You get a little bit of connection. I thought one of the better scenes. What?
You seemed like you were grinning when the kid was getting eaten up.
Matt loves when kids get it in movies.
I have said that. Yeah, when you have the balls to like have violence against a kid in a movie, I feel like in a horror movie you should. Yeah, we had a complaint about it where they killed kids off screen in a movie after like exploding a bunch of other people, and we were like, "Why did you can explode the kids on screen? Don't be cowards." But I'm on an FBI watch list now.
Right.
Talking about blowing up children.
I was going to say there's an emotional moment, though, where Davos, as I'm going to call him.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what you're saying.
He's
that's the only emotional moment.
Has it. And since I just interrupted Matt, the emotional moments, the emotional beats for that is that his grandson, a.k.a. the reason, like, this kid is on the boat is because it's his grandson. and he gets it. And so it's Davos, the captain, like reacting to his grandson being allegedly sick, then passing away, and then maybe being alive again, and then him being like, no, don't throw this body off the ship because this is my grandson and he's moving. Mm-hmm. And so I think that because of that, you get a lot of emotional moments for him because you feel for him. But like, that's it.
That's it?
Yeah, that's it.
I was going to say, and I won't say it later, that was my favorite scene, was when they were trying to throw the kid overboard. And he's like, no, I saw him move. And they're all trying to like comfort him. And he did see him move because the kid is turned. Mm-hmm. And then he basically bursts in flames in front of him and Davos gets burned. And I was like, that's the best scene in the movie because you're right. It actually was character driven. It had like an emotional beat. It like Dracula got to this guy in a way, in a Dracula way, in a manipulative, upsetting way, instead of just slitting his throat like he did with a lot of other people.
Yeah, almost the entire crew just saw Dracula and got absolutely destroyed.
Got ate.
And went, all right, cool, moving on.
I do think that at its core, with the structure of what this movie is the biggest issue. Like, yes, we don't like what they did with the story, and we didn't find it like as scary or as tense as it could have been, hence our rewrites. But with the story as is, they needed to definitely work on the character development of the characters that last through the movie, which is a good handful of them make it till like the final 20 minutes. And when we only have development of one of those people, it's not that impactful. And like the last two characters to live, I feel like they were supposed to have this emotional moment as they're like floating, and we didn't feel anything for them. We didn't care.
We were laughing.
R.I.P. girl.
Well, we were also laughing because Clemens gets out, which is like kind of against the book, right?
Yes.
And he's sitting in a bar and sees Dracula and is like, I'm going to hunt him down. And you would think like, okay, well, this is based on this part of the book. So like, that means this character should be linked to the rest of the book. Okay. So Hannah and I were both like, he's going to be Clemens Van Helsing. Yeah. Both of us were like ready.
He does this end narration where he's like, I will kill him and send him back to hell. And I thought he was going to end with, my name is Clemens Van Helsing.
Both of us thought of that, which would be really stupid, but also it would just funny, like kind of be entertaining. Yeah. Like both of us thought that watching it. We're like, oh my God, he's going to be Van Helsing. Like,
and so the fact that he wasn't, I was like, wait, what the fuck?
He was a scientist, so it made sense. Like, I mean, or a doctor. He was a doctor.
Sense.
Yeah.
Like Van Helsing's a doctor. He's but also he's supposed to be a little bit older, and he has a protege. But okay, we didn't say anything we liked about this, so I have to go through and say some things I liked, which I did think it was good at lighting about 60% of the time, maybe even more sometimes, especially at night. I thought there were some
you could see.
Yeah. I think it still had some issues of not really highlighting what we should be looking at.
Yeah, it was very cluttered shots.
It was still cluttered, but it like there were at least
you could see,
and like there were things that were partially highlighted. It wasn't like complete mush, but like it wasn't perfect either. But I liked it, and basically every boat shot, every daytime shot of the boat was great.
Daytime shots were very pretty.
Nighttime shot of the boats from like a distance were also sick.
Yes.
Like it rolling over like
we love boats.
Massive. Yeah, we love boats. Massive waves. The cargo hold, the like whole scene, and the narrative of like, you can't, when you get on a boat, it's just you, your buddies, and that's all it is for the
water.
For the next months, 2 months. So it seemed like a cool idea to throw Dracula in there, and I guess it is, but the way they did it wasn't the best. But boats still rock.
I did like that they gave us a really good reason for not stopping sooner, like that there was a bonus if they got in on a certain time frame.
Because they were in the Mediterranean and in a lot of areas, I mean, where they could just stop very easily. Like they're basically near shore the entire time.
Like once the food, like once all the animals were bitten, like and then someone got hurt, they could have stopped and gotten help, but they didn't want to because they wanted their bonus. So it does kind of justify their decision making, which I think was kind of necessary, because then otherwise you'll have all the like film snot like idiots being like, that's a stupid choice because you should have stopped.
The plot cells.
Yeah, that's the word.
I do. Oh, we also didn't talk about how the movie had bars. Some of the characters.
Yes.
Yeah. Some of the lines that they had, like as we're sort of dozing off, thinking like that's a dumb this is a dumb script. This is a dumb little speech that they're giving. They'd end it, you'd go like, oh shit, put that on like a little bit of like cross stitching or something.
Make that on a shirt.
Yeah,
Preston and I kept going bars after every time somebody
Right.
spoke in like a good way. Because you're right, there was good writing, like
Yeah,
good
right.
script writing in certain areas, or at least like speech writing.
Yeah,
what we
yeah,
call
right.
it.
Which is
Yeah.
crazy to think about because we also it's crazy to think that on one hand the scripts
Or
and the
so
speeches,
shit. And then on the other hand, the dialogue could be so good.
right? The dialogue or the speeches that they gave you were like, oh damn, that's good. And then but on the other hand, like we don't have any character attachments, like emotional attachments to the
Yeah.
characters, so it felt strange. But yeah,
My attachment was how hard was dependent on how hard their bars were.
Yeah,
so like
right.
I did like Clemens by the end.
Yeah, he had bars.
His bars.
Dude was spitting.
Well, I like that they let the one black man be the smarty of the group.
They seemed like they had a story there where it was like, oh, he had kind of been right. They said like he
there is
wasn't
like this story, but they don't reveal it till later when we already half asleep. Of
that he couldn't get a job anywhere
because
basically.
he's a person of color.
Yeah, and he was a
despite
doctor.
being like clearly
that's
a
right,
very
that's right.
educated person. And I love that idea, and I love that you're letting this person of color be the actual like smart, logical person in this group. But I think it just like in
They
this
didn't
movie,
finish the thought.
Yeah, I don't think they finished the thought, and we were already like too tired by the time he like really articulates that.
Yeah, right.
We were just like, I've already been done
It's
for
also-
about an hour.
It's a little too late in the movie to like give us that emotional beat or
Yeah.
like this character moment.
Yeah, we needed something on that much sooner. And that would have helped us care that he survives if we had that sooner. I think we would have grown attached to him sooner.
Yeah.
More than just like, yeah, we need him to survive because he's not an idiot.
There is some implication, I will say, in the movie that
There
that's
is.
why. But like it's also kind of out of left field for Dracula on boat.
Yeah.
In some ways, it's like, and that's really like this movie. I will keep thinking of it as like Home Alone, like not it's boat alone, except Dracula's Kevin and is just picking off each of them
Yeah.
as on every night.
Yeah, that's pretty much what
That's
it is.
like I don't know how else to think about it, and that's why, like I said, about 40 minutes in, I was like, okay, yep, I've seen everything I need to see.
Yeah.
Oh my God, there's an hour and 20. What else
Yeah.
can they do? And not much. The answer is not much.
Yeah. What did you guys think of the performances outside of, I mean, I think at least we talked about the captain a bit. So outside of that,
I mean, the boat performance was incredible. So
the boat.
the boat did great.
It's a character itself. It's the Demeter.
Production
right.
It's the
design.
Demeter on
Yeah,
its last
amazing.
voyage.
10 out of 10.
David is good. John's good. Anna is good.
What's she?
She was fine. Everyone was fine. There was nothing stood out bad to me, is what I would say.
Okay. Because I kind of thought there were points where some of them were actively bad, but
Boat was never bad.
Boat
was never bad.
Boat was never
so we
bad.
had that.
It has a name. It's the Demeter.
Demeter.
Demeter. She has a name, Preston.
She.
Boat's
Wait, no,
always-
Demeter.
She's-
I know, but Demeter is.
It's also a she.
Yes, a she.
Oh, yeah,
the
Demeter's a
goddess
she?
of
Which
like
goddess is that?
harvest
Yeah.
and grain.
Oh, you're
Syria.
right. I was thinking
That's-
Dionysus. My bad.
Yeah, no, it's
thinking
it's
grapes.
Persephone's mom is
Yeah.
Demeter.
Yep.
So it's a she no matter.
I played
what.
Hades. I know.
Right.
I read Percy Jackson.
Yeah,
I
so you
remember.
should be better than this.
Demeter is in Percy Jackson. She's in winter. Oh no, excuse me, in Hades. She's like winter version in Hades though.
Well, because she's there with her daughter trying to escape the war, basically. is
Yeah.
why
Also,
she's there.
Persephone is your mom in the game.
Oh, I thought you were talking about in Percy Jackson.
No. I was talking about. I said Hades.
Oh, I wasn't paying attention because it's not important and I don't
It
care.
is. It is important. It's
But-
more important than the Last Voyage of the Demeter.
Okay, so did we have any, before we go into themes or purpose, any favorite scenes? You
I said
mentioned
mine,
yours.
yeah.
I kind of like the scene where the kid was locked in the room and the guy, the vampiric thrall man, was banging his face to break open the door.
yeah.
And then they're all trying to get in the door and they can see Dracula in there with the
Yeah,
kid.
yeah,
I thought
yeah.
that was pretty suspenseful, actually.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, because you guys didn't even see Dracula for a second there because it was all balled up. So that was
Yeah.
like an interesting little like horror scene where you're not sure what you're looking at, and then you
Yeah.
go, oh no.
And there was a really cool shot of them like looking in the hole in the door at
Yeah.
Dracula where they all have the immediate moment of like, fuck, there is something in there, get him out.
Yeah, right.
I thought that was one of the only really tense scenes in the movie.
There was the other one that was really good where the blood from someone was hitting Toby in the shoulder.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, whatever. I
That's-
forget who that
okay.
was.
Yeah, the guy was on the
He was on the
Crow's
Mask.
Nest.
Yeah, and the
Crow's
Crow's
Nest.
Nest. That was
Shout out
kinda- that
boats.
was kinda
Shout out
cool.
boats.
Shout out boats.
Yeah, that was a cool one. That was a good scene.
Yeah.
I have such a problem with vampire lore. Can we just like decide on one and move forward with it?
I think they should sparkle.
You think they should
No,
sparkle?
no sparkle. But like, I feel like the most recent ones I've watched that seem most lore accurate to the book, just because you're bit by a vampire doesn't mean you become a thrall. Doesn't mean you become a vampire. You just get anemic because they keep drinking your blood.
All right.
Okay.
You want to chill?
But no.
That's
I'm
not
asking, what is the story? So like, because I'm thinking in Nosferatu, you didn't get turned into a thrall, right? Why are you shaking your head at me?
Because it's an unnecessary
I
conversation.
want to
for the
know. I want to
episode.
know what the actual lore is. What lore do we roll with here?
What happens in the book? I guess
You did nothing. You can get drained.
and then you die?
You can. Yeah.
You haven't read the book, so why don't you not talk? And I don't remember, so I also.
Oh, I'm
will
just
not
basing it
comment.
off of. I'm basing my knowledge off of 1992 Dracula and Nosferatu, because no one gets turned in that. You have to drink the blood of a vampire to turn.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's also
That
how it
doesn't
is.
mean that
You
that's
have to
how it is
pull
in the
an
book.
Uno reverse card to
You
become
you have to drink their blood.
Reverse.
That's also how it is in What We Do in the Shadows, which is the end all be all for vampire lore.
That's
Obviously,
a good one.
yes.
Oh, we should have done that. We should have done.
We could have covered that. Yeah.
Yeah, we should have done a marathon.
Or the movie.
Of
It was a movie first.
There's a movie
Preston.
first.
Preston.
This guy, I've never seen it, so it was a movie first. Yeah,
Taika Waititi fan.
he's in the movie.
He's in the movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he
made
created
the
a show
yeah.
out of his own movie?
Yes.
Wow.
Did you finish the show? Because I haven't finished it yet.
No.
The
No?
first season, though, so funny. The werewolf episode is my favorite.
Okay,
It
I'll
is
have to
a-
check it out.
There's the topiaries that are shaped like vaginas that the werewolf is peeing on.
Oh, and I
Laszlo
thought my
starting.
conversation was unnecessary. Now we're talking about What We Do in the Shadows.
only-
Which is, I mean, whatever.
Yeah, we are here.
relevant. It's Vampire January, bitch.
Yeah. The only
That's-
thing that cracked me up, that drew me into the show, was I can't think of his name now, the vampire that steals other people's energy in the
Colin
workplace.
Robinson.
Colin Robinson, yeah.
But what is it called? The energy vampire? Where
Yes.
it's like, oh, what'd you guys do this weekend? And we're just,
He just
Yep.
bores them to death.
Yeah.
It's so good. We have
That
a friend
cracks me
that
up.
kind of Collins us.
I was going to say, everybody knows a guy.
Yeah, you know him too.
Yeah.
Okay. What was the point of this movie? The themes,
Oh
the
my
purpose.
I got
The
nothing.
purpose was that they liked that chapter in the book and wanted to make it.
Yep, that's legitimately all I have. For
I
this.
think they were trying to make like a race statement, but there was such like a tiny piece
half-assed,
of it.
quarter-assed
that it was
even.
half-assed, yeah. Which like cool, but
And if they really
it.
wanted to, they should have made him Clemens Van Helsing. That's all I'm saying.
I also like that they let a female be like the badass, especially when they're all like, get her off the boat.
Yeah.
So to like give her some agency and like she help is cool. But again, you're not doing enough, so I don't really know.
Oh, I have an idea. They should make a movie where we get to see the part where before he's on the boat and the part where after he's on the boat.
They've done that though.
That's the
Yeah.
joke. I'm making. They should write a book about it, actually.
I'm not entertained. It's a bad joke.
Preston's laugh.
Bad joke, 0 out of 10.
I'm only laughing because for the podcast listeners, as Matt was making the joke, Hannah was just staring right at the table, just,
Yeah. Mean mugging hard.
Oh, shit.
You're not funny.
All right.
Anyway, so no real purpose besides book.
I really can't pull
Yeah,
much out of
you're
it.
bringing, I don't even know what.
It's not even really scary. It doesn't feel like it sets up scares or like
No.
effective scares. Like, no, not even. I was gonna say, like, it doesn't really try to be scary. I don't think. Sorry, Preston. I know you were scared.
No,
but-
I mean, I was, but that's just a me thing.
I live life scared every day.
That's true. I have an anxiety disorder. This has nothing on me.
That's gonna be on a bingo card.
What?
A show bingo card. Hannah mentions having an anxiety disorder.
I mean, that's so true though. Okay. Should we get into ratings then? Just
Sure.
close
Yeah,
this
I just
bitch
don't.
out?
I don't think we talked about what we could talk about. I don't think there's much in the meaning of this one. To be honest, I'm sorry.
And we always love to talk about the actual filmmaking and how that contributes to the meaning. But when there's no meaning,
Okay, we're back from a pause because Norton was coughing. And we had to pause it. All right.
yeah. So if you
So-
heard that stupid ass cough, in the
Let's
back, you don't-
rate this. Did I even put this on my letterbox? I think I
didn't
forgot.
yet. Preston, why don't you go first?
What's this out of? Is it out of 10? Out of 5?
You can go out of 10.
Out of 10.
Yeah.
Do we have what I rated Babadook and Skinnamarink for?
I don't know.
No.
You rated them low because they scared you.
No, he rated Babadook like a
was
9.
high. Yeah,
he was like very effective and like well-made movie.
Yeah. If you want to describe a movie with a point, that one had a point.
Exactly.
You
And I
might have
respected
ranked
that.
Skinamarink low, but also said it was really terrifying.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
said
right.
it's
You
just
might have
like
given
not
like Skinamarink like a
enjoyable.
4 or something.
Yeah.
I don't think it was that low. I
I
don't know.
can't remember.
If I'm going to rank Dracula by himself, I'm giving the man a 2.
Yeah.
Maybe less than that.
2 garlics out of 10.
Yeah, 2 garlics out of 10. If I'm ranking the boat, I'm giving the boat 10 boats out of 10. The boat rocked.
All right, Hannah, you have one. I have mine.
4.5.
Dang.
Is that too high? It might. I don't know.
No, I'm giving The Last Voyage of the Demeter a 4 out of 10. So that's where
Perfect.
I am. It is not the worst thing I've ever seen. It has some value, I would say.
It
Like
has some bars.
it has some bars. It has some decent performances. It has a boat that's pretty
has
cool.
a boat that's very
and it mostly looks good. Like it's fine.
I agree.
It's fine enough from crafting from a filmmaking
Yeah.
standpoint. Or sorry, filmmaking is more than just the shots. So I
I'm
should
gonna
say
give it 4.5 broken planks.
4.5 broken planks.
4.5 bitten animals.
I was gonna give it 4 dead Tobies out of 10.
Tobies. You
God.
can't give dead Tobies.
You can't give dead
That's
Tobies.
fucked up.
4 dead children.
Oh, God.
Or sorry,
Yeah, right.
he wasn't
No,
dead. He
the
wasn't
more
dead. He
dead
was
children,
he was
the
a
better.
thrall. He was a thrall.
Of course,
children.
yes.
For in movies, on TV,
Yes,
not
yes,
in real
yes.
life.
Let the record show. Let the record show.
We're not a fan of dead children in real life.
Oh, no.
I mean, killing kids is an easy way
To be
in
scary
movies
in a movie.
to be scary and to create emotional buy-in, and because it's some of the fear everyone has. So like,
I mean, it's scary in real life too, but we shouldn't do it.
I thought you were going to end that sentence with killing kids is an easy way into my heart.
oh my god, no! I'm just saying like it is if you want
Let the
to
record
manipulate
show.
your audience, like
Matt likes killing kids.
not
Got him.
Stop it.
You heard it here first.
definitely though. I mean, or kids in danger.
Definitely, though.
I'm just thinking about movies or kids in danger is a good way to like pull an investment early. So
Okay.
or animals. But I don't like when they kill animals in
right.
movies.
I mean, I
No.
also love it.
I was glad we didn't really get to see the dog be like brutally mauled because I was worried.
Yeah.
God bless. Oh,
That
Norton's
was,
barking because of the
You brought
concept
it up.
of dogs being mauled. He said,
knows.
"No, no, no!
He knows.
Don't hurt my brethren."
Oh, you hear him growl. Okay.
I hope that's
Well,
on.
with that being said, I think we're done.
Yeah.
Norton,
Thank God.
do you have something to
Yeah.
say? Let that bark out.
Ruff.
Nope, he's done.
No, no
Okay.
more.
Well, Preston, thank you for joining us again.
Of course. Thanks for
You're
letting
not
me pick out
invited
the movie.
back because you picked a stinker. So
Yeah. I'm just going to continue to pick stinkers.
no. What happens now is we get to
No.
pick something really scary for you to
No, no,
watch
no, no.
because you picked.
Punishment.
That's
It's
not
a punishment.
happening. If it's something like the
Punishment.
barbarian shit or whatever, I'm out. It's not happening.
already
Oh,
watched it,
Barbarian
so
will be
don't worry.
fine.
Yeah.
No, it's gonna
I'm
be
going to read the plot ahead of time, and I'm going to say, yeah, sorry, I'm busy.
Autopsy of Jane Doe is what
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
thinking.
No.
Looks like I'm busy.
Wait, can somebody out there, if you're listening still, if you've made it this far into the episode, tell us what you want Preston to watch. Something very, very scary.
Jeez.
Like comment
I
or
might
call
listen-
us.
Yeah. I'd
This is
listen
Hannah's
to,
phone number, 609.
No, Matt. That's all Matt knows is the first 3 digits
true.
anyway.
We'll give you Hannah's phone number. You let us know what you want Preston to listen to, or watch, I mean.
Yeah.
Email
I'm all
us, DM
ears.
us, comment wherever, Blue Sky, message us, whatevs. Let us know what is the scariest movie that we haven't covered that we can make Preston, the scaredy cat, the resident scaredy cat, watch.
Yeah. I'm all ears. If it has a boat, the better.
Beautiful. What about if it has like outdoors, like caves and hiking? Does that help?
Caves and Hike is pretty cool.
All right, I've got it. Okay.
All right. Well, I'm Matt Hanna.
I'm Hannah.
This has been Horror Hour with the Hannas. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening to Horror Hour with the Hannas. Make sure to listen to future episodes on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, or wherever you can find podcasts. You can follow us at Horror Hour with the Hannas on TikTok and Instagram for more content. If you like the podcast, please follow and leave a review on your favorite podcasting app. Happy hauntings!